Okay, hello. Wake me up before you go. Yeah? Wake me up. What does that mean? To come out of the matrix, to become aware of the lie of the matrix before you go. Ominous, isn't it? So, this idea of going, gone. Okay? Wake me up before you go. A call to be woken up before the matrix resets. Okay? Before the return of Christ. Okay, let's look at the release date for this. Oh look, side B, a ray of sunshine. Yeah, wake me up before you go. What do we need? We need Christ. We need a ray of sunshine. Okay, 14th of May, 1984. Let's look at the number jump from the 14th of May, 1984 through to, I think I've got it on this one here, through to the 31st, New Year's Eve this year. Okay, the 31st of December. Check out this number 14841. Now, some people might not know what that is. If you've been watching my channel, you probably know what 814 references or 148 references. Okay, now the first thing to note, this is a very nice palindromic number, a balancing number. Okay, even and balanced. Now, next thing to note, right at the center of this thing, we have the 4884. 48 and what we had this year on 84 was the X eclipse, the cross, the final part of the cross over America. Okay, 8448. So this is super duper interesting. Okay, this just happens to come out. Wake me up before you go. And is this the go right here? Is this the end? Okay. Now, let me show you something else. Well, actually, before I get onto something else, let's remember. Now, the reason why I got onto this, the reason why I'm doing this video is I was looking at George Michael. As soon as I was looking at the 26th of December for Madonna and all the Boxing Day connections with Madonna, I was like, okay, I'm going to have a look at George Michael as well, because number one, it's a personal thing for me, because my grandfather, that I keep going on about, that has this sort of some weird synchronicities with Madonna. If you like, the family name that continued on with his family name. So I've got two cousins that continue on with that family name. And what I'm going to say about my cousins is that one, I mean, they don't look exactly like Madonna and George Michael, but if I had to pick two characters out, okay, if I had to describe their looks to somebody, that's what I would do. I would say the one cousin looks like Madonna, and the younger brother of this one cousin, he looks like George Michael. Okay, there is definitely some hint of a resemblance there to those two people. You know, if you took the right picture of Madonna and you took the right picture of my one cousin, you could see a slight resemblance, and the same with my other cousin. You could see a slight resemblance to George Michael. So this is why this is a personal reference for me. So, you know, when I saw the Madonna thing on Boxing Day, the connections to Boxing Day, I immediately thought of George Michael, because he dies on Christmas. Okay? And then we get into the connections with Last Christmas, and there's some 9/11 connections in that music video. And there's actually a lot of nice connections with George Michael, even just Back to the Future, with the idea of George and Marty, or George and the actor that plays Marty, Michael J. Fox, George Michael. Okay. Another nice connection that we've just had is this idea of the connection of when we look back at this event, the car ramming through the Christmas market, okay, again, it's just a personal reference, but that that part of my family, actually, a large proportion of their what would I say, their living was made working markets. Okay, it was just an offshoot from this sort of traveling side of things. Okay, I don't know how to explain it, but it is just part of that life. Okay, so the whole market thing and the fair thing, tying back with that whole thing with the market, and then the market thing tying back with um, Saint Maurice. Okay, and this connection to the spear. Okay, that is the spear that ends up in the side of Christ. Now, that spear, again, the idea of the spear and slaying the dragon also, this is going to be a bit for some people to understand, or some people might get upset about this, but that idea of the spear going into the side of Jesus is a similar idea to the idea of slaying the dragon. Okay, now let me explain how that works, right? And again, where I'm going with this is George Michael is a George and Michael are the two saints that slay the dragon. Now, the thing about the idea of the crucifixion for me is there's an element of what we need to do ourselves, of putting ourselves on the cross, of self-sacrifice in order to break free from the matrix. Okay, and that self-sacrifice is that one half of you, that twin, that is the out of control ego twin. Okay, I don't know if this is making sense, but that's the dragon that has to be slayed. Okay, this reference to spearing the dragon, okay, is a reference to the self-sacrifice that needs to be made of getting rid of that ego that is the false ego that leads us down the wrong path. Yeah, it's almost like the element of us that has become satanic that has to be sacrificed. Okay, now if you look at George Michael, oh gosh darn it, I wanted to go. Let's go to the next picture. Okay, if you look at Wham, Andrew Ridgeley and George Michael, you know, if you look at George Michael's life and the things that he's done throughout his lifetime, some very dubious actions in terms of things that present themselves as not in alignment with God. Okay, and this is the character, the part of the duo, the twins here. This is the element of that single entity of Wham, yeah, the single being of Wham that needed to be sacrificed, yeah, put on the cross Christmas time and sacrificed, yeah, to become balanced again, to be woken up from the matrix, to come out of the matrix. Hopefully that's making sense. I didn't want to get too preachy in this, but that's the idea behind that for me. That's the breakdown of what's going on there. Okay, that's the what we've got what I take away from it anyway. So, but let's get back to this number jump. So what's this got to do with anything? Because this is like the countdown and count up again, kind of. Or if we looked at this as the birthday and the death date, the beginning is the end. How do we want to look at this? What we want to do is we want to see what this connection is with 148 or 841. Now to do this, I've got to show you some numbers. Okay, now you remember in that Magdeburg car incident at the market, we had the what am I going with this? I can't remember what I was going to say now. No, I've lost my train of thought. Too many thoughts going through my mind. What I'm going to, oh yeah, it was the train. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how this all connects back to the train again. So you remember we had the train with the Lucas written on the front. Okay. If you haven't seen that video, it's a couple of videos back now. But we had the train with the Lucas written on the front of it. So we're going to go down the Lucas track now because of Lucas numbers and the tie-in with all these numbers that revolve around 841 and 842 to do with Lucas numbers, to do with 9/11, to do with Pluto. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. If you haven't seen this before, this will save you having to go dig in the back catalogue. But what we've got is a couple of things we need to note before we get going on this. The first thing is the orbital period, or well, one of the orbital periods for Pluto is 248 years. We need to keep that in mind because we are now 248 years from the beginning of the United States, from 1774. Okay, 1776. Sorry. Okay, so the beginning of the United States, we are now 248 years from that point, and some significant change. Okay, the day difference in an Earth year and a Pluto year, okay, is Pluto year is 1.48 days longer than an Earth year. So it's kind of interesting, in a leap year on Earth, we get closer to matching up with a Pluto year. Okay, just out of interest. It's not perfect by any means, but we are closer to the length of a Pluto year in a leap year. Anyway, which is what we're in this year. Anyway, what we have to note here is it's 1.48 days longer, okay, the Pluto year than an Earth year, than just a standard Earth year, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to look at Lucas numbers, okay? So I've just isolated Lucas numbers out of the chart of the rain here. This top line is just a number line so we can see where we're at. This green theta point is the balance point here, you know, and again it's repeated down here with just this little green bit right here as well. This is the middle of this number line, if you like. We're not really concerned with anything past this line because we're really dealing with 12 and 10 coming in balance. This is an end of a cycle, 10's an end of a cycle, yeah, as we use it in our normal counting system. And 12 is also to do with cycles, especially, you know, I mean, I've referenced before the idea of using the decimal system within sort of more metaphysical ideas like science and mathematics, and the number 12 being more to do with the physical world, like some of our measurements, like feet and inches, for instance, with 12 inches in a foot. And also, this is to do with time, the number 12 as well. A lot of stuff to 12 months in a year, and the division of the clock into, you know, minutes and so forth and so on. We're revolving around the idea of the number 12 a lot, okay, or at least having some kind of divisibilities with 12s, okay. So that is important, this idea, because really the physical world and time, you know, time is a measure of the physical world, what point we're at in the physical world, okay. So time becomes very integrated with the idea of the physical, okay. Anyway, that being said, we've got a midpoint between there, which is 11. 11 is the balance between those two things, and that correlates back to this point here, and 10 correlates back to 5, and 12 correlates back to 6. Okay, so these are all balanced numbers to do with the end of cycles, so forth and so on. Okay, what we're going to do now We'll move on down here, and I want to show you something with these Lucas numbers, and then we'll do some adding up and so forth and so on. And this is what we're dealing with, the end of a cycle, yeah. And we're dealing with end of cycle here, end of cycle here, balance points all the way along through here. We're also going to determine some start points for the cycle as well. First thing to do is the reduction of 11 down to 2 and the reduction of 18 down to 9. Okay, so we've got this 29 here, and as I said before in other videos, 29 is very important because it's the reduction of 11 by itself and 18 by itself to 9, and it's also those two things added together comes out to 29. Okay, so it's not all these numbers do that. So in fact, I think it probably is the only number I know of in the table that does this. There's maybe other ones, but 18 and 11 reduce individually to 2 and 9, and also add up to 29. Now we can actually look at what's across from these two reductions. So we can look at just reducing the 18 and keeping the 11, and we end up with 911. And we can do the other thing. We can do the reduction of the 11 to 2 and keep the 18 whole, and we end up with 218. The discovery of Pluto was on 218, on the 18th of February 1930 something, I can't remember. Yeah, the discovery of Pluto, yeah. So we already know, especially through Back to the Future, all the connections with Pluto, plutonium, and the spaceman from Pluto, whatever the hell it is in the comic and all the rest of it. This is connection to Pluto in Back to the Future and 9/11. Okay, so that's our connection. That's part of our connection there. But let's get off. Well, I don't know if we necessarily get off that. But if we now go and take 9/11 as our mid reference point, right? And we add up these numbers here through to 11. These numbers come out to 28. So if I add up 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, and 11, we're going to get to 28. Now, what's interesting about this, if I go from 9/11 in the calendar year, September the 11th, and I go back 28 days, it's going to take me to the 14th of August, 814, okay? Read that number, 148, 14th of August. 814 is where it's going to take us, this jump back. Okay, if I go on the other side of this balance point here now, this balance point in the middle, and I go and add all these numbers up. Oh no, yeah, no, that's right, yeah. I'm going to add these numbers up. 18, 29, 47, 76, 123, 199, 322. I'm going to add all those up now. This is going to add up to 814. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Are we seeing something going on here now? Now, if I add up all of these numbers, so if I take all the way through and add up all those numbers, so I'm doing 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 11, 18, 29, 47, 76, 123, 199, 322, I add all those together, it's going to come out to 842. Do you see something going on here? Okay, all these references back to these numbers throughout Lucas numbers. Okay, and that is up to and including, well, we're dealing with the number 12 mostly here. Yeah, and as I was just saying in the other video, the number 12 is really, and up to this full cycle here, is really to do with a midpoint balance with the number 18. Okay, now we can do something else we can do something else here. Let me show you this, because this becomes very interesting. And in fact, I don't think I've showed this in a video together. I don't think I've showed this in a video together yet, but let me show you this. I'll get rid of that. Let's break it down to a bit less stuff on here, so it gets quite so confused. Now, what I'm going to do, we were just looking at the 12. We were coming up all the way up to this 12 here with the 322. We need to bear this 322 in mind for later on in this video, because I might forget to mention it. Well, I don't think I will, but we might refer back to it. Yeah, the 322 or the 223, Skull and Bones. Okay. Let's look at something that brings us to an interesting point to do with this 10 now, because 10 is again the completion of a cycle. Okay. If I pick this number out here and go from this date here, 213 in the year, February the 13th, right? If I add up all these numbers through to here, okay, the total for these, yeah, 4 plus 7, 11, 18, 29, 47, 76, and 123 is 315. If I'm getting my stuff, I'm remembering this correctly. This is 315. Now, if I go from, in a normal year, if I go from 213 through 315 days, guess where it's going to take me? It's going to take me to Christmas. 1225. Okay? This here, this set of numbers is going to take me through to Christmas. What are the chances that there's another number jump in here that takes me from a date that's in the start of this thing through to Christmas? It's absolutely insane. Okay, but we're just dealing with the number 10 here. Yeah? Now, funnily enough, what I was going to say, funnily enough, I was going to say there was something going on here. In this year, this is what I wanted to mention. This year, though, it's actually going to take us to 1224. So in a leap year, we lost a day out of here. Does it take us to 1224 in a leap year? Yeah, because we've got an extra day stuck in here, so it's going to bring us back a day. It's going to bring us out to 1224 this year. Okay, but in a normal year, it would take us to 1225. And in a normal year, this date here is going to be pi. It's going to be 314 days in a normal year. If we went from this day here, in a normal year, we would have to go 314 days to get to this. But just so happens that this year, we're dropping on this day. Now, this is important because Christmas Eve, Christmas is all to do with the balancing of the sun and the moon in the calendar. Mary and Christ, Mary and the sun, the moon and the sun, balance in the calendar happens on, I'm not sure if it happens on the midnight hour of 12. I did a video on this ages ago. I should have gone back really and just tried to find the video and rewatch it. But anyway, this whole day, this whole day of Christmas and Christmas Eve is all to do with the balance of the sun and the moon. Okay, to do with the calendar. So that is important to bear in mind. I can't remember where I was going with this now again. It's just way too late to be doing. Look at this. It's 1:16 in the morning. But I'm not going to have time to do this tomorrow, so I've got to get it done now. Anyway, bear that in mind because I'm going to show you this link now. So let's go back and look at that number jump one more time. Okay, 14841. So you can see now, why that was so important. Yeah, because of the 814 that we had in this set of numbers here. Okay, and then we had the 28-day jump backwards from 9/11. Yes, 28 days later. We need to bear this in mind as well for where I'm going with this video in just a second. This idea of 28 days later from 8/14, the 14th of August, yeah, and now, so this is like almost like a birthday again, this becomes interesting, doesn't it? It's like a birthday again, okay. And I was just saying in the last video how this number here, you can get the 31st of December out of this particular number as well. Yeah, like a birthday, like a rebirth. So this connection with this and this number here, okay, and this number here, or the birthday, it becomes well interesting, doesn't it? Okay. Anyway, let me show you how this all ties together now with Madonna. You just can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. Wait until you see this. So, if we go to the music video for this song, okay, for Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, right, and look here, we've got the feminine Mary. On one side, we've got the black and the white, with the white dots, and then we've got the other way around. So we've got the black pearl and the holy, the white pearl, the moon, okay, that it's in its pure form, and then the black pearl, where it's in front of the sun. So again, now let's look at the music video here for this song. And what you'll notice is in the song Choose Life, everybody's wearing these Choose Life shirts. Now, if you grew up, when I grew up, there was a film that was it was a big film, okay? And this was sort of, I don't know really what this was. This was just like part of the film, okay? Choose Life, okay? And they made this sort of it's almost like a logo that goes along with the film, almost. And this is mentioned in the film, of course, but Choose Life. Now, you see the connection there, right? So you see the connection. Choose life with train spotting. Train spotting. Now, remember what I was saying about train spotting. Oh, wrong one. Train spotting. Can we spot a train here? Madonna is the train. Okay, train spotting. Okay, so let's go and look at the film. Bear this in mind, this 127 here. Let's go look at the film. So this is all 62, 26s, 37s, all match up. Train and Madonna match up. Train spotting is the film with the Choose Life on in the film, and then the Choose Life in the Wham! Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. So let's go through all the people that are to do with the film. I don't even know where to start here. Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan. Look at his birthday. This year correlates with the 31st of March was Easter this year. Wowzers. Okay, a great connection. Okay, let's do another connection. Let's go back. Let's do the love interest of Renton here. Okay, in the film. Where is she? Right here. Kelly MacDonald. We got the Mac and the Donald. Madonna, MacDonna. Okay, and the Donald Trump. Check out the birthday here. 223 if you like. 223. February the 23rd. Read that number backwards. 322. Yeah. Read that number backwards. Okay. Now they doubled down on this date. Okay, because let me show you. Let's back up from her. They've doubled down on this date, right? Release date, February the 23rd. No way. They've doubled down on the female figure in the film and the release date. Completion of a cycle, 223322. Okay. Okay, we're getting that. Right? Okay, what else we got in here? Oh dear. Let's do Danny first. Danny Boyle. Okay. Check this out. Remember that 127 I was just showing you there in the Gematria? The film, 127 hours. Finiston Porus, 88 Finiston Porus has got a good decode on this film. Okay. Worth a watch. Okay. Lot of symbolism in here. Check out his birthday. This is the birthday I couldn't remember the other day. I said there's somebody else that's important on that day. I can't remember. 20th of October. Kamala Harris. Herbert Hoover's death date. Yeah, the Hoover. The death of the Hoover. Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Snoop Dogg's birthday. Okay, so this dude is important. Also, 28 days later. Yeah. The 14th of August, 28 days later, is 9/11. I've just shown you it in that number jump sequence there in Lucas numbers. 28 days later. This dude is either funneling an awful lot of organic spiritual information, or he's in on something. Take your pick. Right. What else? What else in here, Dan? Come on, we're not done yet. We've not even got to the best part yet. Okay. Ewan Bremner. Okay. He's Spud. Okay, check out the birthday. 123. Okay, or 231. If you put the 1 in front, you've got a 12-3. If you put it behind, you've got 231. You've got the 12 and the 31, depending on whether you're English or American, doing the date within his birthday here. You've got the 123. Yeah, the start of a new cycle. Okay, Spud. Let me show you where he shows up. If I've got the film up. Yeah, I know I've got the film up because I got to the clip. But this is Spud here. Let me play just a second. This is Snatch. This is the film with all the Boxing Day references with Madonna. Some music. There he is. Bullet Tooth Tony is about to play some music. Listen. Can you hear that? I don't even know if you can hear that. Let me play it again. Well, you probably can't hear it. But Lucky Star from Madonna is playing right now. Okay? Lucky Star. You know the one. You may be my lucky star. Okay? You can't write this stuff. We've got the connection to Madonna here. You know, there's a couple other little nice Bullet Tooth Tony connections with Madonna. Okay, back to Train Spotting. Okay, with this character in the window here. Okay, and we are going from Train Spotting with we're going from this film here, Train Spotting, through to the Choose Life, and again back to this Choose Life, and then back to this ridiculous number jump here, back to this chart here with all this stuff in it. Okay, it's absolutely mental. And if you recall I can't even remember what was it called? What was the music? Born Slippy. Born Slippy. Ah, Born Slippy. You remember it? Come on. Lager, lager, lager. Okay, that has to be the end of this video, doesn't it? I think I've done everything. No point in waffling on for any much longer, okay? That number jump there is just absolutely mental. Okay, I'll figure out what I've forgotten and just put it in a comment maybe. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.